Gotta wake myself up. Good morning, grinders. Welcome to the DFS pregame show here on RotoGrinders. I'm Jordan Cooper, aka Blender at Blender HD. If you want to follow me on Twitter, and it's Thursday, May 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo, right? What do you got? I got a fruity drink, right, or something. Do you drink something? I got mango juice. What, mango smoothie, whatever. For Cinco de Mayo. I don't know. I don't do anything for Cinco de Mayo. I don't know. But it is May 5th. And we still got baseball on. Got MMA coming up this weekend. We got soccer stuff. We got NBA playoffs. There's stuff going on. PGA. People got PGA lineups running. And we got you guys in the YouTube chat, right? I answer your questions. I normally do. Give me those thumbs ups. Give me the thumbs ups early in the morning. Wake me up. Mark's Mimic, Suki Singh, Dumb Montgomery, right? He knows it's Cinco de Mayo. In the chat, he knows it's there. So give me those thumbs ups. Kickstart, good morning. We got not much to do today. We don't got much to do today. We got a small baseball slate later today, right? 6:45. It's kind of spread out, right? We got the 3 late games. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. We had 2 slates yesterday. I played the early slate. Didn't go very well. When you don't have Chalk John Birdie with 2 home runs, that's going to be a problem. Going to be a problem for you. Some Bumgarner get thrown out of the game in the first inning. I didn't have him or anything, but yeah, that'll help the Marlins just a little bit. So didn't do well at all. Got 0 back, right? But only played 5 lineups, but whatever. Then in the late normal main slate, whatever. Basically it was Angels plus Brewers plus Peralta plus Giolito, and you're done. Right, you're done. I think that it was at the winning lineup. Or pretty much. I mean, you could do kind of like 5. Okay, here's a Brewers stack, right? Rowdy Tellez had 2 home runs. It's got all these guys and then 3 one-offs, right? 16. You're good, right? Brick 75, Milwaukee stack, and Dodgers. Okay, the Dodgers did. Oh, they put up 9 runs. Okay, I thought the Angels would come in more, right? Kikuchi had a good game against the Yankees for 6,300, 27 points. Dalladino here 5-3, right? When we have, you'll see that when teams score more, stacks rule the day. So it's not a coincidence that a lot of sharp players are at the top of leaderboards, right? Utica here, 5-man Milwaukee stack. I mean, they scored 18 runs, so you pretty much needed Milwaukee. I just thought it would be Milwaukee plus the Angels. But the Dodgers, I guess, I mean, it's Milwaukee 5, and then you fill it in. Yeah, here you go. There you go. Lethal Bizzle. I don't know what that means. But yeah, Max Stassi, Anthony Rendon, Shohei Ohtani. Oh, you didn't even need Ohtani. Could have had someone else. And so they had what, 4 home runs yesterday? There's another one, right? Here's Red Sox, right? Okay, with the snowflake. Close enough, right? Look at the scores. 200, right? Like teams actually decided to hit yesterday, right? 18 runs, 10 runs. Was it 10 runs? Oh, 10 runs for the Angels, 9 runs for the Dodgers, right? Wasn't that bad yesterday. Maybe I should have played. Maybe I should have played the main slate instead for the early. The early slate was just not much going on. But yeah, I mean, straightforward. I mean, if you take a look at it, just exposures across the board. I mean, Peralta, Giolito. It wasn't that complicated yesterday. And the Brewers were it looks like the Brewers were the chalkiest stack. Right? A lot of people play Bundy. Wow, 19% owned. Yeah, that was a mixed bag, right? We have a bunch of people that didn't play any Bundy, right? So yeah, so the Brewers were chalk. Okay, so if I would have played yesterday, maybe I wouldn't have had a Brewers 5-man anyway. Okay, maybe I wouldn't have. And if you're playing golf, by the way, Paul Casey is withdrawn. So all those lineups are dead. What's up with Paul Casey? Paul Casey used to always play. From my time playing PGA DFS, Casey is always like 7,800 or to 8,300 and always chalky, and then never comes in the top 10. It gives you an 18th place finish, or he kills you, depending on how high owned he is. The higher owned he is, the more likely he's going to do bad. But that was a long time ago. But he is withdrawn. You can't take him out of your lineup, so there's nothing you could do. You're dead. You're dead. Nate Bradshaw says stacked 5 most expensive Dodgers last night since everyone played Giolito and Peralta. Okay. I don't know what pitchers you would have played. Like I said, I didn't play the slate last night. Bradish. Just play Kyle Bradish at 5,500. That's what it seemed like. He was the highest owned, like cheap guy. Gomber at 6,700. Hendricks at 7,400. Shannon Lambert says that Ward is totally juicing. Taylor Ward, whatever. Maybe he's just good now. Who knows? Taylor Ward, Alex Santi says he has an 8.5% barrel rate coming into the season. He's just hot, but not without power on a regular basis. Okay, whatever. Looking at the slate yesterday, right? No, the cheap pitcher. I guess Kikuchi was the cheap pitcher that did well, right? Well, I mean, Gomber did well, 22 points. But essentially, if you just had Peralta and Giolito and you had the Brewers, you had a shot. You got a shot at first. Okay. Feel free to type in the YouTube chat. I don't know what to talk about today, right? It's hard to review a slate I didn't really play, but most likely taking a look at the exposures. The Brewers were chalk, and I probably would have had less of them. Maybe I would have had more of the Angels. Maybe I would have had a 5-man Angels and still would have lost, right? It's because I didn't have the Brewers, right? Tellez puts up, what was Tellez owns? 18% ownership. He has 48 points. Yeah, I'd probably be dead. Probably would have been better off for the contrarian players not to play yesterday. Well, I mean, I played contrarian on the early slate. That didn't work out, right? Because that now the chalk hits. Okay. You move on to the next slate. We got an early slate today, but it's only 2 games, so I don't know what's going on. Kickstart says, have you talked about the MMA slate yet? Not yet. I haven't finished my sheet. I was still working on it. I still have to update a bunch of this. And ownership across the board. There's not much around that. RG doesn't have ownership posted yet. A whole bunch of other sites don't. So there's nothing really to do. I'm just kind of, updating the odds and whatever. It's a good slate, MMA wise. 15 fights. I like the large slates. 2 5-round fights, right? 2 title fights. It's a pay-per-view. So there's a lot of ways to get different. A lot of ways. Because we got a bunch of guys that got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fighters, 9K or above, right? And none like ridiculous favorites. I think Fialio right now is the largest favorite, minus 370. But 70%, 70, 80% win chances isn't like 90+% win chances. And inside the distance lines of minus 200 and stuff. It's like, okay, these are reasonable. So I'm still updating it. I'll be updating this after the show. We'll talk about it tomorrow. There's nothing, I don't have owner. I mean, I have one ownership source, and who knows how correct that is. So there's nothing to judge right now. So like a Vince St. Pro. Oh, you gotta play him. He's under owned at 20%. I don't know. Is he gonna be 20%? I have no idea. I've not looked around. I've not read everything. Nate Bradshaw asked, would you say on most slates that playing 2 stud pitchers limits the ceiling of your lineup? No. Right. Alex replied, salary doesn't equal points in baseball. It wouldn't limit, the ceiling is whatever. Any hitter could hit 3 home runs. I mean, not many, but I mean, they can. Most of the time in the past, correlation matters so much in baseball that if I could get 2 ceiling outcomes out of 2 stud pitchers, like all I need is one like weird team to score 12 runs. And that happens. That happens more often than you think. Weird teams, not the Dodgers, right? Not the Yankees. So I prefer to play 2 stud pitchers. But what I prefer to do is do what the field isn't. The differences between lineups in MLB and DFS is not that dramatic. If you're stacking and you're reasonably decent at pitcher because it's a little bit less variant, you could legitimately play any 2 teams, like anyone, for any reason. So, like, that doesn't limit the ceiling. Like, on this slate coming up tonight, what? If I'm going to play, what? McClanahan, Nola? I mean, there's really no stud pitchers. Tonight's slate, you don't even have to pay up. What? McClanahan's 9,700. Logan Webb is 9,400. Aaron Nola's 8K. So, Aaron Nola's going to be mega chalk. Right? Robbie Ray against the Rays, 8,800. But you can see here on the bat projections, the pitching for a lot of these pitchers right in the middle range, like this, what, a difference of 1 or 2 points, median wise. You can get away with anyone. Right, directional bias says even the minimum salary last batter in the order can hit a grand slam. Right? Didn't we have the Kevin Smith or whatever, the A's guy? Right, he was barely owned. He's like minimum price. Up, grand slam. Right, the ceiling is the floor of every batter is 0, and the ceiling is who knows. Be anything depending on how many people are on base and stuff like that. Right, you get position players throwing pitches at the end of the they're up 12 runs. You get batting practice in the 8th inning. People dramatically overthink MLB DFS. Dramatically. Whatever you're thinking about, like nuance-wise, just get rid of it. Get rid of it. Once you learn the basics, you could survive with just the basics. But most people that are asking those questions don't know the basics. Jerry Mann says, first question I ask myself before building lineups, what am I willing to do today that the field is not? Leverage is everything. Yeah, that's especially on the smaller slates. Right? There's not many choices. The opportunity cost isn't as much. It's like, what did the field do? Like, oh, maybe look at the obvious stuff. Like the most obvious stuff is like, okay, who's going to be owned? Right? Oh, the Nola is going to be mega chalk against the Mets. So maybe stack the Mets. That would give you the most leverage. Shane McClanahan is going to be popular. You could just stack against Robbie Ray. Play the Rays. That's obvious. Doesn't mean it's the most likely, though. But those are just obvious forms of leverage. Right? If people are paying up twice a pitcher and playing this cheap underpriced stack, well, then maybe you pay down a pitcher and you pay up and you overpay for some batters. And they're going to be 2% owned. Maybe you do that. You can do a mix of everything. The last 2 nights, Brett Booth says I picked the right teams, but haven't had the right combos. Yeah, that's welcome to MLB DFS. Welcome, right? Even if you're building like if you're doing single entry, 3 max or something, them's the breaks. That's what it is. We take a look at the bat projections today. If I just click through, see what shows up right now. Oh, he still got, I got with Miranda. We still got the Miranda dude at 2,100. So he's going to be mega owned. He's first base eligible now? I thought he was 3rd. As of right now, according to the bat, we got Minnesota and Houston. Like literally a full Minnesota stack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the bat. Ray, Nola, Sanchez, Miranda, Correa, Kepler, Bucks. Who's pitching for the ball? Spencer Watkins. Okay, that's why. Now I understand. So is Minnesota going to be chalky? Is it going to be Minnesota plus Nola plus Ray, and then you could fit in Houston? I don't know what the totals are. Who's Detroit pitching? Well, they're playing Tariq Skubal. We could see, right? You could, I mean, Chris Archer, there's not much sample size on. Maybe you play the Orioles against him. People are too confident on Archer, but I don't know if Archer's going to be that old. Doesn't seem like with these prices that you're really that prohibited. Look, you could fit in. Look at this stack. You fit in Houston, Soler, 5-man Minnesota stack with Buxton in it. It's not like it's cheap. And you still get Nola and Ray tonight. I have to think that's going to be chalky. I mean, we go through team by team, go through the hitters, but I'm assuming the Mets don't project well at all, right? Yeah, definitely not. But you could play them. Let's say you play them, instead of Nola, right? Because here's the high. Let me just show you like the difference. This lineup, this optimal, currently bad X projections with the projected starting lineups. Remember this. Who knows? Maybe Miranda isn't in today. Who knows? Is 110.47. That's the mean projection, the average, right? 50th percentile. But let's say you wanted to say, okay, I want to stack. I'm going to get rid of Nola. We're not going to be able to play Nola in the lineup and play the Mets. Okay. And it's at the highest amount of leverage, right? You're going to play Canha. Let's see, we'd lock in Canha, right? Got to play like the better point per dollar plays, right? We play Pete Alonso. We play a 5-man stack, right? We play Primar. Do we play Dominic Smith? Well, we can't play Dominic Smith if we're playing Pete Alonso. We're playing Brandon Nimmo, right? Just pick whatever. Do we play Jeff McNeil at second base? Maybe we do. Do we play Lindor at short? I don't know. Right. Altuve's there. Correa at 4,600. So let's play Lindor instead. It's like Lindor, and we need a catcher, right? So you play Nido just for whatever. Fill it in your stack, okay? And we got rid of Nola. So what would this lineup project as if I just filled in the best available projected players? Okay. So there you go. You would play Altuve, Anderson, Ray, Urquidy, and Buxton, right? If you want the highest median lineup, 96.23. Okay. What was the optimal? What was the one that, like, you can't make a better line? You can't make a better median lineup. Median, remember. A better median lineup. 110. Okay. This lineup projects 14 points lower than that optimal. Okay. What's 14 points in Major League Baseball, in DFS? That's a solo home run. That's it. That's all 14 points are. One swing of a bat is 14 points. So the difference between playing the uber chalk Minnesota stack 5-man plus the two chalkiest pitchers is 14 points. That's it. Right? One of your Mets hits a home run. Now both lineups are equal. But if I told you that this lineup starts off with a Francisco Lindor home run, both lineups would now be equal projection-wise, right? This line, and look how low on this lineup is compared to that line. Okay, you're playing the 1%, 2%, 4%, 1%, 3%, 6% pitcher, right? So the difference, even this is probably the worst projected stack on the slate, probably, is the Mets against Nola. Yet playing a 5-man stack of them and no Nola in your lineup, who is one of the best projected pitchers on the slate, is a difference of 14 points. Not 40 points, 14 points. One home run, one solo home run, right? Imagine multiple people on base. Lindor gets on base, Nimmo gets on base, Alonso hits the home run. Yeah, now you're higher than the other one, right? The differences between lineups in MLB is not as dramatic as you think because there's so much variance involved. Now, how often does a 5-man Met stack come in comparison to the Minnesota stack? Much less. But the ownership difference is much more. So playing this lineup, this would be a plus EV lineup. Would I want to make 150 of these lineups? Probably not. right? But you could do that with any stack. So like, let's say the raise, right? The leverage spots, right? We're talking about these leverage spots. Let me go put Nola back in. And now I'm going to take out Robbie Ray. Where we go? We're going all. Right? So take out Robbie Ray, and then let's look at a 5-man Ray stack, right? Against Robbie Ray. Play Margot. Try to probably play the righties against him, right? Play that. Right. We play Wander Franco at shortstop. Play Zunino to fill a catcher spot, and play either Ramirez or Yandy Diaz. Let's play Yandy. Let's play Yandy. Okay, and then we press the optimize button, right? So there you go. Then you're still you're getting Nola. Now you're getting Nola and Urquidy, Mancini, Altuve, Buxton as one-offs. 103.778. Yeah, 78. And you're only spending 48.8. So you're leaving 1,200 on the table, and your mean projection is 103. How many points lower than the optimal is that? 7. What is that? That's an RBI double. That's it. The difference between this lineup at this ownership and the Minnesota stack with the 2 chalk pitchers is an RBI double. That's it. That's it. That's the difference between the 2 lineups. 7 points, yeah. It's less likely, true. But look, I'm taking the highest leverage stacks there are, and the difference between the lineups are a home run or less. So if I could build a lineup like this and go, okay, this is a plus EV lineup, I think it would be better off if I don't even play Altuve and Buxton. Let's say I don't even play Altuve, but I don't want to play chalk one-offs, let's say, in this lineup. Let's just, I'd rather not. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to X out Buxton, right? I'm going to X out Altuve, and let's see. Altuve. Let's see what shows up now. Okay, 101. And maybe I don't want to play a Chalky Bregman one-off, so I get rid of him also, right? I'm trying to get the lowest ownership that I can with this stack. Okay, this isn't bad. Okay, Aguilar, Chisholm. So, here's a 3-man. Just naturally happened. 3-man Miami. So it's 5-3 Tampa Bay, 3 Miami, based on our current ownership, pretty low owned, right? All single digit. This lineup has a mean projection of 100. What's the optimal? 110. It's less than a home run. And you're playing a 5-3 Rays Marlins lineup with Nola. Let's say we take out Nola. Let's take out Nola also. At this point, you don't need any more leverage, right? You're not going to need any more. But let's just we do it for shits and giggles. Take out Nola. So now we're playing Luzardo, Urquidy, Mancini, Chisholm, Soler. Maybe you don't want to play Mancini's too high. I'm not saying you should. I mean, you don't need to at this point. You have enough leverage as it is. But let's just say, Miranda. I don't want to play Miranda. He's going to be 1,000,000% up, right? Okay, now we're down to single digit. Okay, 50K, 96. Okay, so it's still a home run difference. And now you're playing Luzardo, your Urquidy, Hoskins, Chisholm, Soler. There you go. I mean, this is all within a 1 home run. And this is the highest leverage stack you could play, right? I literally am fading the 2 highest owned pitchers and stacking against one of them. And obviously, a stack against one of them is also a low owned stack. So, look, this would be the lowest projected. This would be the lowest lineup that you could play, the most leveragey type of lineup you could play. And still, the difference is a home run. That's it, right? And people are scared. People, how do you do that on this given slate? Sometimes sometimes stacking against Scherzer or whoever with the Oakland A's or something really bad team baseline. Sometimes, yeah, the projections will be 20, 25 points. Even then, 2 home runs. Well, you have a lot more to make up. But look, on this slate coming up, the 6-game slate, the highest leverage lineup that within reason, obviously. A leverage stack and playing a stack against the chalk pitcher, not playing the other chalk pitcher, is still a swing of the bat. So that's why it's like how the difference between this lineup and that lineup, how could that change with one swing of the bat? Because it's a solo home run, right? 14 points in NBA, you need to do a lot of things, right? Even in football, to make it 14 points in projection in NFL DFS, I mean, a touchdown is 6, right? A 3-yard catch for 50 yards, and like you need to do more stuff. Baseball is one swing of the bat. So don't concern yourself so much with how much this one's giving up 5 points projection. This one's giving 6 points projection. Is that too much? Like, as long as you're going down in projection, you're getting less ownership, you're fine. That's the general concept. Don't care about, well, what proportion, what 1-to-1. Should you play a lineup that's 14 points lower projected that's similarly owned as a lineup that's 7 points lower projected? Probably not. You're sacrificing 7 points in mean projection for what? For no ownership discount. That doesn't make any sense, right? So you probably shouldn't be doing those types of lineups if you have better lineups available to you. That's it. What's that number going to be? Who knows? Every slate is different. So you could look, and depending on the projections that you use and the ownership, right? That ownership isn't perfect. Projecting ownership is tough. And you go, it's like, oh, what team is under-owned, what team is over-owned? So, like, look, I built the lineups that people would say nuts on this slate. If I went on Grinders Live later today, I said, yeah, I'm stacking against Nola with the Mets, and I'm stacking against Rays with the stacking against Ray with the Rays. People go, oh, you're nuts. It's like, well, I'm not really that nuts. The differences are less than one swing of a bat. Right? Some slates maybe will be more than that, but in these slates, it's not. I just ran it. I just showed it to you. So when people view my lineups and go, oh my God, you're stacking the Dodgers against Carlos Rodon the other day. Oh, you're wasting money. Like, if the Dodgers are going to be 2% owned, I'm not. It's not going to happen that often, but I mix those types of things in. When something like that happens, I benefit from it. I don't know when it's going to happen, though, so that's why I do it often, right? Going through the YouTube chat. Brett Booth asks, when doing homework and looking for plus EV lineups, do you find it's better to go team by team or look across the blend and keep refining by lowering your max phone ownership? I mean, I'm choosing teams based on their average ownership in general, right? I look at the average ownership of a 5-man stack from that team. Is it over-owned or under-owned? And then from there, then I'm looking for the under-owned teams. And there I could be like, well, what combinations work best? But I'm building primarily on a team-by-team basis, not on individual bats. Nate Branchard says, I feel like in baseball, people are most overconfident in a player doing well, especially in single entry and 3-max. Consistently see hitters 45% plus owned. Yes, that's why I don't play them. Right? Just if Birdie hits 2 home runs, then I'm just dead, and then just that happens. If in single entry 3-max, the 33% owned stack on a 9-game slate goes off, then I just lose. That's just the way it is. Directional bias says you won't really know if your process is plus UV until it manifests as such. Pretty tricky when assessing your own process. Yes, especially in baseball, it's very highly varied. You're gonna easily need a season or more for you to go, oh, okay, this what I'm doing is plus EV. What I'm doing is plus ROI. It's like I said, like me. Like, I'll play the entire season. I'm looking to bink once, twice, three. If I win first, if I come in the top 5 more than in a large field GPP, more than 5, 6, 7 times, I'm good for the season, the whole year. If I win once, I probably make a small profit. Right? If I bink once. It depends on how many other top 10, top 5s. If I bink twice, I'm made. I'm good. Yeah. If I win 2 GPPs, that's all I need. I'm good. Wildly profitable. 3, I'm rolling around like a pig in shit. Okay. How many slates are we going to play in an MLB season? 150, 180, 200? If you count early, lates? I'm playing for those three. I'm playing for 3 slates. That's it. I don't know what 3 slates they're going to be. So I just got to play the way I play. And just when they happen, they happen. And usually they happen. Let's see. Right, Daniel Hutchins says that's exactly the 121 single entry on DK is the soft. I personally think is the softest single entry contest on DraftKings. So softer than softer than anything in the lower stakes. The 121 is typically there's tons of cash lineups thrown in there. Tons. The ownership is way out of whack. Like stacks in the main GPP that are like 10% owned are 3% owned in single entry. And stacks in the main GPP, like Milwaukee yesterday, in the single entry probably were like a third of the lineups. It's like, why should that be that owned on a slate of that size? Right? Now when the chalk hits, you're screwed. But it doesn't happen as often as you think in MLB. And it also has a good payout structure, right? Joe in chat says. Right, it's like 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,500. Like it's nice and flat up top. Directional bias says my lineups will either win or not cash. Most players seem to be okay with just cashing. That's right. Those are the people that we're taking advantage of. In the long run, they're bleeding to the rake. The path to profitability apparently is littered with empty cans of Spam and Vienna sausage. Yes, a lot of ramen noodles. Anything else in the YouTube chat? David Vicar says 2 days ago, my $100, $50 single entries had 0% ownership on the Yanks, and they balled. I literally play Roto Premium for percent owned. Right? Yeah, the Yankees against Manoah the other day. Right? Like no one played. Right? And then in the single entry, even less people play. Right? And just like you don't even have to be perfect. Like that's the point that I make about the smaller field stuff by playing more contrarian. Is that you when it does work out, you don't have to be perfect. You're rooting for failure of other lineups more so than your own. Right? So you get a team that goes off decently, it gets 6 or 7 runs, your stack is 2% owned. And then the chalk teams, like there's one stack that's 30% owned, another one that's like 18% owned, and they both fail. They only put 2-3 runs or something like that. And one of the chalk pitchers gets killed or something. Like, dude, you could win those you could win the 121 single entry with like a lineup that is like 50 points lower than the large field contests. Like you could have a 0. You could have snowflakes in your lineups at that point. You're playing for the lower scoring slates like that. You just have to accept that you will not cash when the chalk hits. You just have to accept that. Just move on with your day. When John Birdie last afternoon hit the second home run, I'm done. Right? After the first home run, I'm probably done, but the second one definitely. That's just nailing the coffin. Doug Sellier says, anyone who doesn't buy the bat X and just run the optimal lineup for 50-50s, are you even DFSing? It's what the pros do. Don't let them tell you any different. Well, I literally tell you that. Understand that the top 20 lineups from any projection system, the difference in baseball with all the variants is not that dramatic. So if you want to play the top one, you want to play the fifth one, it doesn't matter. But yes, if you're playing 50-50s and head-to-heads, your process in playing them should be less than 60 seconds long. 60 seconds is a long time. All you should be doing is using some type of projection set, aggregating projections, whatever, and then pressing a button. Or pressing a button for 5 lineups and you're choosing the one of the 5 that you like, whichever one. Close your eyes, pick at random. It doesn't matter. That's why I think talking about cash games I find to be pointless on shows like this in 2022. Just look at the projections. There, you're done. Alex Santi says MLB 50-50s are kind of sad. The higher stakes have so many dupes and the lower stakes aren't worth it. That's correct. I don't play MLB cash. Every once in a while, you see overlay or something. It's 10 minutes before a slate, and these double ups aren't filling or something. I'll throw something. Try head-to-head lobby. I see some people I've never seen before. Let me take a shot. I don't think it's worth. I think MLB is much more of a GPP sport, and I think there's much more edge in the MLB GPPs than there are in cash games. For the variance of the swings that you'll go through in the cash games to be worth it. Okie doke. So anything else? And it's a short show today. Anything else before we get out of here? Tomorrow, I'll show some MMA stuff. That these can be used for any sport, remember. Concepts are still the same. But there's a 15 fight card. Good for DFS, better than an 11 fight card. And we got a 6-game slate tonight. 6-game slate. And they'll be talking all about it on Grinders Live later today. Grinders Live at 4:45 maybe. Something like that. You'll see the thumbnail. You'll see it on the YouTube channel, right? Click that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the notification bell to know when we go live. And remember, after Grinders Live, Crunch Time is free. Presented by FanDuel. It's free the entire season. So you get Roth, you get Cheese, you get Cardi, you get whoever it happens to be on. And they'll go over the weather. I didn't even look at the weather. Is there any weather problems going on tonight? I don't know. I'll look later. And Roth will update me on the show, looking at live forecast models and stuff in case we need to, right? So hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door, and I will see you tomorrow answering your DFS strategy questions as I always do on the DFS pregame show on RotoGrinders.com.